If you like to see more Patriot news, please support us by donate. Link in description. Be a patriot, support us. Take your Patriot t-shirt. Link in description. Thank you and God bless you and America. Admirable. What President Trump did today with the trucker shocked reporters. You'll cheer. Video. American truckers are among the most focused individuals in this nation. Leaving your friends and family to drive for a considerable length of time at once is no simple assignment. President Trump comprehends that truckers are a basic piece of America, and he regards the occupation they do. President Trump talked with truckers and CEOs today to express gratitude toward them for the work they do. No one knows America like truckers know America, Trump said. Trump then astonished the crowd by bouncing into the driver's seat of an 18-wheeler. You could recognize the energy easily as he did what each and every American would do if allowed to ride in a major apparatus. The president did not care what he looked like, he was just having fun. It's so reviving to have a president who regards the working man and sets aside the opportunity to say thanks to him for their penances. Much thanks to you, President Trump, for really being a leader of the general population. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. H.T. Liberty Writers. H-bomb. The NSA just released the smoking gun, Obama in panic mode, details. President Trump was correct when he asserted that the Obama organization had him under reconnaissance. We now realize that there is strong confirmation of the spying and the NSA is going to release the conclusive evidence. As indicated by Fox News sources, congressional investigators expect that a potential smoking gun from the NSA establishing that the Obama administration spied on the Trump transition team, and possibly the president-elect himself, will be produced to the House Intelligence Committee as early as tomorrow. The House Intelligence Committee has found that the spying was gotten and dispersed inside the legislature amid the 2016 campaign. The knowledge is said to leave most likely the Obama organization, in its end days, was utilizing the front of true blue reconnaissance on outside focuses to keep an eye on President-elect Trump. Advisory Group Chairman, Devin Nunes, R. California said intelligence originated from various sources amid a traverse of a little while. He has not imparted the real materials to his counsel associates and will be the main individual from the board in a position to know whether the NSA has turned over a few or the greater part of the knowledge he is referring to. Sadly, the FBI isn't collaborating with House Intelligence Committee's ask for archives to give the verification. Along these lines, the odds are solid for Comey to be subpoenaed to answer questions identified with the occurrence. President Trump has taken advantage of the truth and Americans will soon perceive how right he was about Obama spying. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. H.T. Liberty Writers News. Boom. Washington just dropped mammoth sledgehammer on Muslim spies, they will pay. Details. Keep in mind those three siblings hired by the Democrat Congress individuals to do it take a shot at PCs at the Capitol building? It was found that they were taking congressional gear, utilizing confined PCs, and accessing congressional records that held data with respect to the battle against psychological warfare and our national security. Yes, it was that huge of a security break. As the story created, we discovered that the White House had basically let go them and made no further move. However, they were quite recently beginning to take in the profundities of the wrongdoing. At that point, we discover the three siblings were Muslim and had some way or another passed a record verification keeping in mind the end goal to work for the congressional Democrats. On top of which, they lived respectively in a similar house claimed by a lady who had ties to terrorist systems. She as well, it was later found, worked for the exceptionally same division a couple of years prior. Better believe it, it's an ideal opportunity to research. Also, Washington has at last making that stride. 5 people employed by members of the House of Representatives remain under criminal investigation for unauthorized access to congressional computers. Former DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz employed at least one of those under investigation. The criminal investigation into the 5, which includes 3 brothers and a wife of one of the men, started late last year, as reported by Politico in February. The group is being investigated by U.S. Capitol Police over allegations that they removed equipment from over 20 members' offices, as well as having run a procurement scheme to buy equipment and then overcharged the House. House Speaker Paul Ryan said last week Capitol Police are receiving additional help for the investigation. "I will not speak to the nature of their investigation, but they're getting the kind of technical assistance they need to do that. This is under an active criminal investigation. Their capabilities are pretty strong, but they're also able to go and get the kind of help they need from other sources," Ryan said. The brothers, Abed, Jamal and Imran Awan, worked as shared employees for various members of the House, governing committees relating to intelligence, terrorism and cybersecurity, which included the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, the Committee on Homeland Security and the Subcommittee on Tactical Air and Land Forces of the Armed Services Committee. Imran's wife, Hina Elvi, and Rao Abbas, both of whom worked as House IT employees, are also under investigation. Things tend to move gradually in Washington yet, at any rate, it's going on. They might possibly have made up for lost time with awful on-screen characters who were endeavoring to ship data to the Russians, or there were other more odious reasons that were associated with terrorism. Whichever it was, the Democrats can be guaranteed that their inconveniences encompassing these siblings have just barely started. Truly, this is nearly as terrible, or maybe far and away more terrible, than discovering many government workers under Obama with kid-explicit entertainment on their PCs. Trump is correct, drain the swamp. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. HTRT question. Just in. Trump, Republicans go nuclear on Dems, it's a historic triumph, details. The election of President Trump was really an amusement-evolving occasion. Not just have the authoritative needs changed significantly from what we encountered under Obama, however, so has everything else from outside approach, to a residential arrangement, to legal arrangements. With regards to legal arrangements, President Trump has the chance to roll out improvements that keep going for a considerable length of time. These are lifetime arrangements, recollect. Accordingly, his election was a calamity for the liberals since it implied that Hillary's parade of dynamic, radical legal candidates will never get off the beginning line. The most the Democrats will have the capacity to do is defer and block Trump-chose people. Yet Republicans are having none of that. Congressperson Ted Cruz has officially gone off on the moderate-moving radicals, and now all of Capitol Hill is prepared to move. Judge Neil Gorsuch will be affirmed. The Senate delay decides that basically requires 60 votes to pass a bill or a presidential assignment is a piece of a long-standing custom of the Senate being all the more a deliberative body that takes as much time as is needed in choosing issues. The odd thing is that the manage requiring 60 votes to end wrangle about and send an issue to the floor for a vote can be changed by a basic dominant part. This is what is known as the atomic alternative. It might be going to be utilized. Via Fox News, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, DN.Y, and Senator Elizabeth Warren, D.Mass., both called Tuesday for a postponement on any vote to confirm Gorsuch to the nation's highest court. It is unseemly to be moving forward so fast on confirming a Supreme Court justice with a lifetime appointment while this big gray cloud of an FBI investigation hangs over the presidency, Schumer said. That remark is fairly diverting, considering such thinking would have blocked Bill Clinton from making any legal arrangements amid his 8 years in the White House. You know, with the exception of amid those uncommon bits of time between examinations of debasement. However, Gorsuch will get affirmed somehow. That's where the so-called nuclear option comes in. If majority Republicans change the threshold, Gorsuch could be approved with a simple majority of 51 votes. The nuclear option was first used by Democrats for circuit court judicial appointments in 2013, and top Republicans, including President Trump, have indicated for weeks it's a serious option in order to get Gorsuch on the court. If we end up with that gridlock, I would say, if you can, Mitch, go nuclear, Trump said February 1st. All things considered, Gorsuch is prominently qualified, and the Democrats were the first to utilize the device for lower court arrangements, so it just comes down to whether the Democrats need to compel the issue or not. At the end of the day, the majority of this is political theater, as the Supreme Court anticipates its most up-to-date part. We are outrageously tired of Democrats pursuing a superfluous war against Trump and his organization. Get over it, liberals. You lost. Furthermore, learn to expect the unexpected. There ain't nothing you can do about it. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. H.T. Fox News. Shocking report rocks Washington, FBI director caught protecting Obama and his dirty staff, unbelievable, video. In the all-star lineup of gigantic screw-ups and embarrassments, the Flynn affair rates on the Richter scale at around a 2. There is the fascinating part about Barack Obama's association, which tightens the issue up to around a 3, however generally. When you get some information about the Flynn scandal, they take a gander at you with eyes that say, would it be advisable for me to arrange an additional substantial French broil for me in light of the fact that the children are continually eating mine? In the event that you ask a Democrat in the city, you'll get a comparable reaction. In any case, solicit a Washington profession hack part from the party of the jackass and you would surmise that Flynn was Joseph Stalin. Or, on the other hand, Mel Gibson around 2006. There's a justifiable reason Senator Ted Cruz oftentimes tears-separated leftists, and it has an inseparable tie to their pietism and stunning devious strategies. Things being what they are, the reason would it be a good idea for us to care what the Democrats think? Indeed, in light of the fact that someone wrongfully released the data to the press with respect to Flynn and that someone ought to be considered responsible. Obama's shadow government office down the road on Pennsylvania Avenue ought not to have the capacity to insure them since they're Democrats. Western journalism. Michael Flynn was asked to resign from his post in February after a transcript surfaced of him conversing with the Russian ambassador prior to Trump's inauguration. Representative Trey Gowdy, RS.C., questioned FBI Director James Comey during a hearing Monday about who identified former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn as the U.S. citizen recorded talking with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. The South Carolina Republican grilled Comey on who is responsible for telling the press that it was Flynn in the surveillance audio with the Russian ambassador, the disclosure of which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison. Gowdy named former President Barack Obama and 6 of his administration officials as potential sources of the leaks. Gowdy had one more blunt question for Comey. Did you brief President Obama on any calls involving Michael Flynn? He asked. Comey refused to provide an answer. I'm not gonna get into either that particular case, that matter, or any conversations I had with the president. So I cannot answer that, he said. All things considered, that about wraps that up, then, isn't that right? That is to say, no damage, no foul, correct? Nothing to see here. Like being Aussie. Now, what does it truly make a difference? Isn't that so? By and by, Obama and his cohorts return to their Chicago-styled strategy of completing things. Furthermore, Michael Flynn is simply one more hapless casualty of a crazy establishment that will clutch its energy with a demise hold not at all like whatever other. Paying little mind to who is tossed under the progressive transport. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. H.T. Western Journal. Blast. Young conservative unmasked James Comey, she just became his worst nightmare, video. How profoundly does the rabbit gap go? All things considered, in the events that you need to know, simply take the cache. Since chances are, whether you take after the cache sufficiently long, you'll, in the end, locate the base of the rabbit hole. Furthermore, that is the most well-kept mystery. In light of the fact that once you find the base of the rabbit gap, you never again observe the light of day. Legislators, the vast majority of them, in any case, are a breed unto themselves. They live, eat, inhale, and rest factional legislative issues, yet don't trust an expression of their articulations. They live off the breast milk of the American citizen and guarantee that they outwit everything. No $10 hairstyles for these people, probably not. They must look awesome for the cameras. Also, snacks and suppers? All paid for through the liberality of, well, us. On top of which, there are shadowy exercises going on all the time. Rush Limbaugh accepts pretty much everybody in Washington, including Republicans, simply send an extremely stern cautioning to President Trump, for instance. With respect to FBI Director James Comey, well, would we be able to truly think anything he says? Ever? Amid his current hearing, he everything except conceded the Obama organization was in charge of, or if nothing else thought about, the press releases that prompted National Security Consultant Michael Flynn's renunciation. In any case, that wasn't the best some portion of that hearing. The conservative treehouse, Representative Elise M. Stefanik is a young, freshman Republican congresswoman from the Albany, New York area. And using a probative questioning timeline, she single-handedly pulled the mask from FBI Director James Comey, yet no one seemed to notice. Obviously Miss Stefanik has not been in the swamp long enough to lose her common sense. In the segment of the questioning below Rep. Stefanik begins by asking Director Comey what are the typical protocols, broad standards and procedures for notifying the Director of National Intelligence, the White House and senior congressional leadership, aka the Intelligence Gang of Eight, when the FBI has opened a counterintelligence investigation. The Parseltongue response from Comey is a generalized reply, with uncomfortable body language, that notification of counterintel investigations are discussed with the White House, and other pertinent officials, on a calendar basis, quarterly. With a statement that such counterintel notifications happen generally quarterly, and against the backdrop that Comey stated in July of 2016 a counterintel investigation began, Stefanik asks, when did you notify the White House, the DNI and congressional leadership? Boom. Watch an extremely uncomfortable Director James Comey outright lie. By claiming there was no active DNI, which is entirely false. James Clapper was Obama's DNI. The bottom of the rabbit hole is the place all the decline lies. A rabbit leaves its waste, dung, sheddings and pee at the bottom with a specific end goal to keep itself over the trash. This congressional hearing and the leaders required in the Insight Group are presently swimming in that trash. Incorporated into that junk is the Spygate, Obamagate issue that never appears to leave, and just continues getting filthier with each passing day. It's an ideal opportunity to cover that gap and begin once again. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. The Conservative Tree.